From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
What's going on, anime nerds? Welcome to this week's episode of the Nerds Anime Corner. We're doing Season 2 of My Hero Academia and Two Heroes. Will, take it thieth away.
No.
Yes.
Okay. No.
My show.
No, it's been said. Must leave.
So,
What? I'm listening to it's your show. It was how he said it. My brain went, ow.
so this is the first of the seasons that has 25 episodes, and then every season fucking after. As accurate.
You're still lucky
we
about
have-
something.
This season covers 3 major arcs. The UA Sports Festival,
Yes.
the Hosu City Incident.
Yes.
At least I think it's called the Hosu City Incident.
Close enough.
The Nomu's attack.
And
Again.
And the semester 1 finals, which
Well-
it's a short is a short thing, but it was like
I
there
mean-
was enough
Each fight, basically, and that has their own episode for the most part, so
aesthetically, but still like
it's a good
was the
7 or
last
8
one.
episodes.
it was literally the last 3-4 episodes of the season.
Like that.
And then so we start with the UA Sports Festival, and like everyone's like, wait, should we actually be running this? We got attacked because it's literally like the day after they get a day or two after they get attacked, they bring this up. Oh, by the way, Sports Festival.
Yeah, no shit.
They're like, oh, should we really? And be like, nah, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Pump the bottle in.
I don't.
Every-
I don't.
The universe is
I
fine.
don't think it's basically everything's fine. I think it's they don't want to show the
Oh.
public that they're panicking.
Oh, that's exactly it. Then, so we kind of see everyone kind of prepping, but like one of the major things is like All Might, like the pressure All Might kind of puts on Deku here in this arc. Well, like I get it. Like All Might is like he's putting a lot of pressure on him, but like here's the thing. He is not cooperating with me. He's like, this is where I want you to like make the world see you, like, and show them that you're here. And it's like, bro, this man has had a quirk for like
A year? Not even
Here?
6 months.
yeah. Entrance exams usually happen in the fall. That's when he got the quirk, and then school started in the spring. I would say we're probably about mid-spring at this point. So yeah, about 6-ish months.
Mhm.
No, Deku, go up.
Maybe a little. And it's like, okay, dude, you're trying to make this guy progress at such an astonishing rate when like he didn't even have a quirk before. Like I know you didn't too, but like
And he's progressing rather fast. Just, everything happens in such succession that it's hard for Deku to physically keep up with it.
what people didn't really like, and what people, everyone around him don't like, is learns over time. Like he's learning very much over time. Is how actually intelligent Deku is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Him
when you look
mumbling
at
to himself.
Yeah, when you looked at the exams, he ranked 3rd in like and we'll talk about this when we get to the exam part of this, because in the writtens, like Deku got like third place on the exams.
I don't know why I just thought of it, but when you were talking about Deku and All Might talking about how important, of a coming out party this is basically for I rewound probably a 5-second bit for maybe 5 minutes straight. It was like, do you remember what I told you when I gave you my power? Here, swallow this.
And his face just
he turns to All Might.
we don't really see a lot of prep for the sports festival, and even in the manga, you don't see a lot of this prep besides like this. And then we get to the sports festival, and you're like, holy shit, because it's literally like they were saying, it's on as grand of a scale as the Olympics. Like when they were saying like more people watched the UA Sports Festival than they watched the Olympics in their world.
Yeah, and they made that a very big point of emphasis that the whole world watches UA. That's insane. The whole world looks to this one high school of super kids, basically.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, and then we get to this race where it's this whole big obstacle course. Like, I'll say one of the things that doesn't make sense to me is like they have the entire school competes in this. The entire school. So, like, even the people who are there just as, like, normal high schoolers, they're not part of the hero course. They're not part of even, like, they're not even part of the support. They're not, like, part of the business. They're literally just there to go to school. Like, normal high schoolers are competing in these giant, massive scale obstacle course.
I was kind of surprised at how, not really, because Icy Hot.
What do you mean? Most of these people had quirks, so they had ways to get by. But still, like, this thing was built for like the hero course students, and they made like all the non-hero course students that like really kind of in a way shouldn't have really stood a chance against this, like compete too. And it's like, oh my god.
But Bakugo and Todoroki were just killing it. Like, straight killing it. Like, hey, they're first years, but fuck.
And I mean...
And then Deku out of nowhere grabs all the landmines. It was like, fuck you, fuckers.
Like, he can't use his quirk. He can't... Like, this is where they start, like, really showing off, like, to me... him, like, you start seeing, like, in season 1, his, like, genius, like, you don't really start seeing, like, intelligent moments until here. Because, like, okay, in season 1, his big moments was he destroyed the Zero Pointer, and that was just his heroic instincts. That wasn't his intelligence. You see him like shifting gears to like channel it in one finger, but to me that's not like a genius move. That's like learning like how to use he's learning how to use a quirk when he hasn't had one. So it's like, to me that part isn't really showing off his intelligence. This, with how he freaking figures out how to just get ahead of them in a split second and then keep it, is where I'm like, oh, he's actually extremely smart. Like,
oh, he's 100% a genius.
And his mumbling and stuff like that, like, people were like, oh, but you see his mumbling and his note-taking. That's more, to me, explains his observant, like, how observant he is, like, how studious he is. But that's not, to me, showing off his intelligence. It's just showing, like, his hero admiration nation and, like, how observant he is of situations.
And another thing that this whole tournament kind of shows how much the other classmates that aren't in 1A do not like the kids in 1A at all. And they're all gunning for that top spot, basically.
Well, it's a thing that they kind of like here, that gets subtly brought in, and you see it more with Shinso when Shinso gets more introduced, like during the cavalry battle and Deku versus Shinso, is that they can get promoted to the hero. Like a student in any class in that school could get promoted up to the hero course if they show themselves off enough and can show that they actually have what it takes. So the sports festival is one of those chances to do it, which was why Shinso was so serious during that arc, was because that's what Shinso was trying to do. He was trying to place high enough in the sports festival that he could then get into the hero course. So then from there, so Deku ends up winning by doing the landmines, and he got blasted so far ahead that like even Bakugo going full speed and Todoroki ice skating.
Anybody else think Bakugo early on? Well, he's still kind of the way he is now. Now that I'm rewatching, he's a little too much sometimes. I kind of want to just turn him down just a little bit.
Well, the problem is, well, here's the thing, and like as you get through the series and you start like they actually start going into like explaining Bakugo. We're currently in the part of the series where Bakugo is getting fucking humbled. Like at every fucking step of his journey, he is like, "I'm hot shit." Pff, no, you ain't. I'm hot shit. Pff, no, you ain't. And that's a little more dramatic because, like, really, if you think about it, Bakugo is absolutely hot shit. Bakugo is one of the strongest characters in the whole series. But he thinks he's so hot shit better than everybody, and he's learning that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's learning that, like, not everyone is just a bunch of fucking extras. Like, they actually matter, and they make him better.
I love how you just used that because he said that on multiple occasions.
We'll talk about this more in when we cover season 5. This gets hammered in a lot more when 1A versus 1B happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see the improvement from him in this exact thing.
Honestly,
of where he's.
I know we're jumping out seasons, but when him and Deku actually have that street fight, that's where I feel like a lot of.
That's where they start really developing Bakugo's character more than where we are now. We're in the point of where we just know Bakugo as like pretty much kind of the piece of shit. Why the fuck is he even in the hero course? Besides like that, he's just powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So Deku wins the thing. Then we get the cavalry battle where then Deku becomes worth like 100 million fucking points. I don't think it's actually 100 million. I think it's literally just a million, but I'm exaggerating because it was like the death glares he had received when they showed how much he was worth. And like no one was willing to team up with him. You'll know for the first it took him so long until Uraraka was like, "Hey, let's team up." Where no one, he was like asking people, no one would join him because they wanted his points. They knew he would be, if they were on his team, they would just be the target the entire time. And they were like, nope. That's extremely inconducive. And so he gets Uraraka. We met her during the race, but then we meet Mei Hatsume, a support person who just
I
kind of
love
like
her so
aces
much.
the like does pretty good in the obstacle course with her gadgets, her support items. Like I feel like she could have become like just off of her support items on herself, she could have become a hero. Like if she wanted to, she could become a hero just off of like her ability to make support items. Tokuyami joins up because like Deku actually kind of gets how his quirk kind of works and knows that like, oh, he can't really be an offensive person right now when Tokuyami told him about Dark Shadow's weakness.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no, I want to use you on defense. And he was like, ooh. Like it impressed him that he didn't want to use Tokuyami as an attacker, but as a defender. So it's literally these four against the world. And for a while, they did pretty well up until it was like the last, like, I think it was like the cavalry battle was like 10 minutes. And they up until like the 6 or 7 minute point was when Todoroki's team was actually able to steal the headband. Like they had most of the time, like he was able to handle like that onslaught most point to the point where a bunch of other teams actually started giving up on going after them and started just going after each other because they couldn't do it. The only two like real cavalry teams that kept going at like really at Deku and Deku Squad was Team Bakugo and Team Todoroki.
It was big. I really thought Team Deku was out. They were done. And then out of nowhere, Tokoyami has it.
Well, how he ends up stealing, well, I mean, that too, like Tokoyami steals another one, but like the one Deku ends up being able to steal, even though like they were able to like fake him out, it was a different headband. He was able to like blow and this is the first time you see him start learning to actually control the quirk without getting damaged, is he brushes Todoroki's hand away and grabs the headband, and you don't see any damage to his arm.
And he mentions that.
He makes a specific mention. He was like, wait, my arm is okay. Like, what?
I honestly thought this whole festival, or not the festival, but this whole arc was fun just for the fact of it allowed each and every one of them to kind of showcase their own abilities without having anything really
there's nothing at stake here really besides like prestige.
He took the words right out of my fucking mouth.
Then, so they skim by the skin of their teeth. Like I think they were like the 8th place slot. There was only or it was like, what was it? 4 teams that was able to pass to make the bracket.
Yeah,
I don't remember exactly how many teams, but they were the like last slot team. They like barely skimmed because Tokoyami was able to have Dark Shadow like sneak a headband real quick to get them just enough to skim by.
Let's talk about some of these fights though.
Oh, so we start off with the big banger, Deku versus Shinso.
Once again, thought Deku was losing.
It was a very powerless fight, really. Like people were like, like the audience was kind of like booing about it, but it was like, and like but like you really see kind of this is where, and something we get future is where the seeds of something with One for All starts showing up, because Deku, like Shinso taunts him, gets him to say a word. Like Deku was trying real hard, but Deku also didn't really know what triggered his quirk.
Yeah,
he was just Ojiro gave him a hint of and it gave Deku an idea of what his quirk kind of was. When Ojiro was like, yeah, he like asked me this, and then I don't remember anything. He was like, what? He was like, I don't even know why I was working with that thing. And then he like when he came out, he was like, thanks for your hard work. And it was, and like Odoro was pissed, and Deku was pissed. He's like, what? Why did you do that to someone? He was like, well, I needed teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And Deku gets brainwashed, and right before he leaves the arena, his court, he shoots himself out of it. But you see in the background, like over where All Might was like standing in kind of like the pitch, he was seeing faces, and they were glowing in the like every time that we've seen like where they've done like what One for All is, and they do like the chaining, the stars to each like path. Their eyes had each of the colors of the stars that hits. So it was like, whoa, was I seeing the past year? And always like, oh, yeah, we learn this part afterwards that like they're like, oh yeah, he's like, All Might was like, yeah, I saw it like once. I don't know what it was. I guess it was just like a little residual of their power, like there. Maybe that's just a weird thing. We'll learn more later. Then all the other fights kind of go real, like kind of fast. You get the beginning of Momo's self-esteem issues, because Tokoyami just literally just in like 3 seconds, he's like, because she couldn't handle his onslaught. Bakugo aces his opponent. Todoroki aces Sero.
Well, Bakugo is Ochako, right?
Yeah.
And I really thought Ochako had an actual shot there, just for the fact of she kept outsmarting Bakugo. Because Bakugo shoots first and worries about shit afterwards.
Yeah, but this is also where you learn that like Bakugo is a lot more calculated than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, yeah, we think he's just an explosive head. He just rushes into things and everything. But then you learn how combat ready he actually is in this.
And we're talking about James's favorite character right now.
Because like this is like one of the first, like this is like the first Bakugo fight. Like we've never seen Bakugo like 1v1 someone. Like Bakugo only loses in season 1 during the mock battles because of how the rules of the match worked. It was a team battle.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't lose the actual fight, and he's never had still at this point he's never lost an actual fight. He's just been significantly humbled because like everyone's like pointing out his absolute faults, and he's learning that he's not as hot shit as he was being.
I mean, let's jump a little bit further. Him and Todoroki. Holy shit.
And this is where we start learning about Todoroki getting this is basically like really from here on, it's like the Todoroki character arc.
Oh, and I loved it so much. I really did. Because
we're learning like why Todoroki's like up until like here, Todoroki's like, he doesn't talk to people, he's a loner, he looks like he hates everyone and everything, when that's kind of because he does. And we now learn he's the son of Endeavor. His dad's kind of a piece of shit. And like he's got
a lot of baggage that we didn't know about.
He does not even use his fire side. And like, yeah, and we're only like, we don't even know the full story. We just know Todoroki hates his dad. His mom is the one who caused it. We like learn his mom is the one who caused this scar and stuff like that. And when like Todoroki starts asking Deku like about like Todoroki's more kind of the first one who I feel like starts catching on that him and All Might like have this huge like thing, because he asks, are you like his like bastard child or something, like a secret child or something? And Deku's like, no, what the fuck? That's literally like Deku's reaction is like, what the fuck? So it's,
I forgot about that one.
But Deku has such. This is where we kind of like, and I mean, we'll learn about it in the second part of this arc, and we're gonna wrap up this arc soon because there's not much more to it.
I know we've been on this arc for 20 minutes.
Well, this is the longest arc of the series show. This
I know.
This season's 25 episodes. 13 of them is the UA Sports Festival. 13 of them is the UA Sports Festival.
But we got to talk about that match between the two of them because it's fucked.
So Deku has this whole thing of like where this is where we start learning how much Deku like puts quirks on a pedestal. Like he doesn't see them like everyone else does, where they're like just part of them. He sees them as these things to be admired, and he hates that like Todoroki like hates this part of himself. Won't like use it because he hates this part of himself so much that he
use it, not his.
Yeah. So that fight's pretty intense. It's like out of all of like you see Todoroki acing all of his opponents. Like you saw him ace his first opponent, and this is the first time that he doesn't like Todoroki doesn't just like win instantly. Especially like in the mock battle, he won instantly. He just froze the entire fucking building and then touched the bomb like no one stood a chance.
I think a lot of it had to do because Deku was giving him so much conflict within himself.
The entire time, Deku could have won that fight. If Deku wasn't so hellbent on trying to basically save Todoroki from his family, like, depression, like basically his problems, Deku would have won that fight because Deku like literally got to a point where he won the fight. All he had to do was like hit him like one more time with either a Delaware or like even a normal punch. With how like exhausted Todoroki was, Deku could have just launched him and won. But he was so determined to like save Todoroki from his own mind that is why Deku lost.
You idiot. Why are you
but oh shit, did he lose in the most spectacular fucking way possible. Like that fight literally came down to that clash. Like I think if I was looking at it right, Todoroki was literally at like when that clash ended, he was literally right at like the edge where it would have been considered a ring out, and Deku ringed out. So like it could have ended, and it was that close to being like a draw because they ringed out. That's how close it was even after that point.
Dude, that was
to the point where
work.
like even after all of that, like the teachers had to step in to like lessen the blow of their attacks because one of them probably would have died if not.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the climax of the arc, because from there everything else kind of just happens pretty quickly. Like I think it was 8 of them. So it was like Deku versus Todoroki, and then whoever was in the final. So then it was Bakugo and Todoroki. And for some reason, Todoroki was in such a like daze from their fight that Bakugo was able to win. And he didn't even use his fire side because he was still in it. Like Todoroki was not in that finals. He was not there.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was still thinking about all the things that Deku.
Yeah, Bakugo was pissed because of it.
Mm-hmm. Bakugo's pissed. That's why. I mean, they had the freaking. So Bakugo ends up.
That
winning.
was funny as fuck. It really was.
So Bakugo ends up winning the sports festival, and then they literally have to like cage him,
restrain him
because he was so pissed off at Todoroki because he did not want to win that way.
I mean, I couldn't stop laughing because of it, just for the fact of, he's got all this power, wants to win, but also wants to win kind of still in the right way.
Mm-hmm. And then that's kind of how the arc wraps up. Like Deku recovers, and everything's going like Like we kind of thing, like Todoroki starts like realizing, oh yeah, and like kind of tells his dad off. He goes and actually sees his mom at the end of this arc. Like he has not seen his mom since she went into the mental hospital after scalding his face. He ends up actually going and visiting his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And starts trying to like patch things up with his mom.
Which I think is a big step for his arc as well, because after he starts doing this, he really starts opening up more. He starts being, I'm not going to say a friend to a lot of people, but he's more accepting to his classmates.
Except to one person. He is an absolute friend to Deku. You'll see like for the most part after that, he hangs out with Deku a lot. If you see in a lot of situations, he's always like trying to find like where like Deku is and everything like that, and like you'll see it. You see him around like Deku a lot. Like he's like completely open with Deku, but you'll see with others not as much. I think towards the end of this arc, he starts getting there with Momo.
Yes,
because they're paired up for their final exam against Eraser, and you'll see he starts opening up to Momo, and then afterwards you kind of see it carrying on from there.
Shall we go into the internships?
Now we get into internships in the Hosu City incident. So pretty much right after the sports festival, they come out and be like, all right, you're now going to do these work studies. I'm going to call them more work studies in this, even though like they actually in the show and the manga and everything call it internships. But like, I feel like the internships, like the more are for like when we're at the season 5 point, because they're actually doing hero work there, where here, not really. They're very restrictive in what they're allowed to do because they don't have the provisional licenses.
Which hero arc? This is before Stain and all that stuff.
This is basically we're leading up to Stain because the internships lead into Stain.
Because I don't want to just break down everything. I want to give like an actual thought on it and all that stuff. Deku going to Gran Torino, Todoroki going to his father, Bakugo going to Best Jeanist.
Yeah.
Which one out of our whole 1A group did you feel had the best learning experience?
Deku's.
Really?
Because this is where Deku unlocks full cowling.
Okay.
All of the others, like we do, like Bakugo goes to Best Jeanist, and like this is where, like, for character wise, like Bakugo, character wise, because Best Jeanist literally just lays it into place. Bakugo of like literally just like it was like your personality is dog water.
Yeah.
I'm here, like I put in the request for you, so like just to kind of touch on like this, they didn't really get to choose like who they went to here. It was the hero agencies actually put in the requests for them, and then they got to choose out of the people that they were who wanted them.
Yeah.
Them. So like Bakugo got all these. Everyone got a couple, but Deku only gets one.
Yep. And it's Gran Torino, and he was All Might's teacher.
It was the only, and it's the only reason why he got his teaching license was to train All Might.
To live up to All Might's predecessor.
But also, while all this is kind of starting, we're also kind of getting a bit of the villain side of things, because we're meeting the League of Villains is starting to form. We're meeting Himiko Toga. We're meeting Dabi. Like while all this is going on, there's that in like little background that like Shigaraki is starting to form a group. We meet. Oh God, why is his name skipping me right now?
Who?
Spinner. There we go. Spinner, Magna. Like we start meeting them, in the midst of all of this. And while everyone's doing their internship stuff, we meet. There's mentions of a hero killer. And in the sports festival, we know that Ida ends up having to leave it early because his brother was attacked. And to come to find out here is it was done by the hero killer, but somehow he was able to survive. I guess someone got there in time and was able to save his life, Ingenium's life.
Not his career.
No, not his career though. To where he's so banged up, he was like, I think I have to retire. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to run anywhere near as fast anymore. Like, I'm too injured.
And that's where Ida takes it over. And boy, is that a revenge story.
During all this, like, Ida's, like, angry. He's in the grieving process. Like, his brother, his whole idol, his whole reason for, being a hero, the person he wants to live up to, is his career has been ended. So he's basically on this warpath. He picks his internship because it's by where the agency is. It's close to where his brother was attacked and where the hero killer was attacking. That was the whole reason he went for there. And Deku being Deku is all worried and stuff like that. But this is where we start learning Deku's huge character flaw, and he still has it. Like if you're watching this and you're current with My Hero Academia, this is Deku's giant character flaw. He worships quirks too much, especially One for All.
Mm-hmm.
Because he basically thinks it as this precious thing that's like instead of a part of him, that it's his, it's part of him. He thinks it's this like thing. And I mean, in a way it is, but like, and it's why it's taking him so long to like fully control it. It's because he worships it too much. He thinks it's this special thing instead of like something that's his and part of him. He thinks it's like something to be worshipped, that he like something he should be like praying to and relying on. So he's not understanding how to adapt it to his body. I mean, he's getting there slowly and stuff like that. So Grandarino literally is just kicking his ass for a bunch of days and everything, and he finally starts getting it about which creates the full Cowling form.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's not really a form, it's more if he's actually using the quirk, but like you get the green lightning around him, so it's like, and like you see the red lines, and I'm pretty sure those aren't like, so like demon, like for example, Demon Slayer. Mm-hmm. I didn't know this until like someone actually told me that the effects on the swords aren't actually there.
Yeah, that kind of was a big turnoff for me.
The demons can kind of see it. It's showing because I guess like the demons can see it because it's just I guess how the sword works. But that's actually not like an effect like everyone can see and everything. It's literally just like for visual prowess. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, the show is good. Don't get me wrong. Like people don't hate me. I love that show. I'm gonna watch it till the end, and I read it to the end. But that pisses me off that it's not actually there. Where this, you can acknowledge and actually see, and people notice it, that his green lightning is there, and like the red lines are there. They are visually there. They're not something to just show us that he's using it. It's actually there.
Yep.
And he starts enveloping himself in it, and now he's basically went from, oh, I'm basically this just special attack user where I just use a special attack, and then that's really kind of all I am. I can't consistently, like I can fight normally like a brawler, but all my power is like a special attack. Because that's what he thinks it is. Because that's how he's treating it. he's learning, no, this is just a part of me now. So he envelops his body in it and basically now has the thing where he can keep fighting now, as well as use the special big bangs of like he can go into 100% punch. Really, everyone else, you don't really see much of their internship stuff. You see Todoroki, like where you see where everyone is. Like you see Ochako's with Gunhead. Tsuyu went with Selkie. Mineta went with Mount Lady. And kind of where everyone ended up going. I think there were a couple unnamed heroes like that they went to. There was Kirishima went to the gentleman hero. Momo went to Hebi, the snake hero, and stuff like that. So you see all those things. And then after it was like the intern was like 3 or 4 days. Everyone else was doing something. All Gran Torino and Deku were training. And then finally, it was like the last day. Like it was like there was like 2 or 3 days left. And Torino was like, "Yeah, all right, you're finally ready. Let's actually go out and do like some patrols, and let's show you what hero stuff is now that you can actually like stand in the arena." Because you couldn't before. That was like his whole reason was like you could not stand in the arena before. Because what, you're gonna fire a punch and then be done? So, and then they're on the train, and Hosu City begins. Nomu literally crashes into the train, and Gran Torino fights it off, and he's like, "Stay here," and stuff like that. And they go, and he's like, "Oh," and like Deku starts putting like some pieces together. Of wait, we're in Hosu. This is where Ida went, the hero killer. Blah 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 blah. He starts putting things together, especially like because he's still this whole time thinking about Ida. And goes and finds out, and then he goes and finds out that Ida was fighting Stain because Ida was on a revenge trip, and Deku was like, "Stop being stupid." And Ida's like, "Stay out of my shit." And Deku's like, "Meddling in other people's shit is what makes a hero."
I mean, I was with you. Yeah, because I remember watching that with you, and I was just like, that threw me out of loops. I was like, I get it. I fully get it. I will be out there for some revenge too.
Foreshadowing. Deku's own your words here gets used against him. The Stain fight was pretty nice. I mean, it was very quick. It was only like an episode. Really, when you think about it, it was an episode.
I expected it to be longer. I'm not gonna lie with you.
So, I thought it'd be longer too, but in the manga it was short too. So it was like everything.
Like, we're not gonna check it out for you guys. We're just gonna wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah. So Deku and Ida are fighting, and then Todoroki shows up in the middle of this and starts helping too. Because like Midoriya just sends a text location to freaking everybody. He just texts his location to everybody, and only Todoroki's like, "Ah, shit, this must mean something."
Glad you guys kept going without me. Had to go take care of the puppers.
Because you will notice after all of this, everyone was like, "Deku, what the fuck was that? You just sent us a location."
How smart is that, though? How smart.
But the final blow, I love how the final blow wasn't just Ito and it wasn't just Deku. It was literally both of them. Like Deku hits with the fist, and as Ida hits him with a kick, both at the same time. Like it wasn't like. But here's the big thing that happened. Like here's the huge thing that happens at the end of that, because Stain's thing is like, Stain is, in a way, I classify him as an anti-hero. He's the villain of this arc. Like, he absolutely is. But I say his morals are an anti-hero. Because he's only going after the heroes who he deems that he himself deem are not true heroes. They are in it for the money. They're in it for the fame. They're in it for the reasons you should not be a hero. The only person he like really acknowledges as a true hero
All Might is where they
is All Might.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks he thinks by doing this, by killing all these fakes or injuring them mortally to where they can't be here anymore, he is helping to reform society, make people actually think, oh, maybe I should be a better hero, or maybe I shouldn't be in it for these reasons, stuff like that. That is it a little flawed with how this world works? Yes. That's why he's an anti-hero. And it comes a lot more into play later. But in this, like, it ends and like Stain's like, you know, and like getting arrested and stuff like that. And Nomu comes and snatches Deku.
Mm-hmm.
And Stain goes absolute fucking bonkers and freaking kills the Nomu. Or at least paralyzes the Nomu. I don't know if he fully... It doesn't really show if he fully kills
It's dead. It's 100% dead.
I don't think Stain is the one who kills it, though. Stain paralyzes it, but I don't think Stain kills it. I think it ends up getting like burned by like Endeavor or something. I don't think it was actually like, I don't think Stain did the killing blow is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But he cuts him and paralyzes him. And basically is like saying like no one should do anything like to Deku. Like Stain finally acknowledged someone else as a true hero, and it was Deku. And it was because Deku wasn't in it to take down Stain. Deku wasn't in it for like taking down Stain. He wasn't in it for taking down Stain. He was taking it for like helping his friend.
Yeah.
Like just saving his friend from Stain and all this. Earned Stain's respect because he saw that Deku isn't a hero. Like he's in it for the hero reason, not for the perks that come along with it.
Yep.
Stain gets arrested and everything like that. And the League of Villains get the credit for the whole fucking thing. And it's made to believe that the League of Villains is part of Stain's ideology, which Shigaraki hates. But it gets him Toga, it gets him Dabi, it gets him Spinner, it gets him Compress, it gets him Magna, it gets him all these allies.
He's got an army now because of it.
He now has a group of his own that he now has because of Stain's ideology. And these people who think that the League of Villains, Stain was working with the League of Villains.
Yep.
That kind of wraps up the Hosu City incident, which is kind of nice. Deku and them get scolded because of oh, you guys shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that, but you know what? You guys did something really good. You guys like were able to take him down and survived and stuff like that. We can't really punish you for that. Like really, at the end of the day, you were defending yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't get credit for this because you guys were technically doing hero work. Like more like Ida got like more in trouble about this than the other two because the other two like it was specifically told. Well, no, because Ida actively searched Stain out to take him down to do hero work. Because basically doing hero work without having a license and without the permission of the things, or just injured. The other two really just went to go like get Ida out of it. To try to get Ida out of it, and they ended up having to do a full fight. So really, more than not, Ida gets to be the most one in trouble here, but not really at the same time because of the end result was fine. It was like, it wasn't like they were doing like open hero work. It was, they fought Stain in an alley.
Mm-hmm.
But what were your guys' thoughts on Hosu City, on the whole Hosu City incident?
I actually really enjoyed Dane's arc for the fact of I think he's got the right idea doing it the wrong way.
Hmm.
And it's the only reason why he's doing it the way he's doing it because it didn't work doing it the right way.
Indeed.
Also very excited in the coming seasons where the League of Villains gets packed and starts raining absolute fucking hell.
So, the final arc of this season, and then
Hold on.
we
Hold on, Will.
Did
James.
James not answer?
No.
James, answer me.
He answered it pretty well. He's on
Oh,
my side.
okay.
So, AJ summed it up. I was like, Stain was definitely the most entertaining part of those her things ring. Like you said, it very anti-hero status.
All right.
Interesting. Let's see more of him.
So we have one little arc to cover, the finals.
Yeah, we've been going for just under an hour.
Yeah, I know. This is like season 1 because so much like there's so little things that happened. Like we were able to get it through like 20 minutes. We were already done.
Yeah.
Done. So from here on, so much stuff happens that like I expect pretty much every episode after this to be like this long because so much goes down in the seasons and going forward just because of how many now episodes we have and how much they cover.
Yeah.
Ooh. So the UA finals, the semester 1 finals, there's not much that really is of note. It's just all the groups get paired based on certain aspects. AKA shipping for the most part. Because I think the pairs it was Tokoyami and Sue.
Yeah.
There was Kaminari and Mineta, Kirishima and who was Kirishima paired with? I don't remember.
Floppy. No,
because that was Suyu and Tokoyami were paired.
Yeah.
Momo and Todoroki. I think it was Kirishima and Ashido. Jiro and Ojiro. Not Ojiro.
I loved Mineta in
They
this.
didn't really focus on everyone else. They showed like Suyu and Tokoyami a little bit. They showed Mineta and Kaminari kind of how they ended because it like showed Mineta like actually winning in that fight.
Perfect little
over,
bastard.
like sexy woman Midnight. But the Aoyama and Uraraka get paired together. It's where they kind of start touching on the Uraraka might be in love, might have a crush on Deku.
Yeah, which don't spoil anything for me because I still need to watch 6 because 7's coming out soon. I don't think they ever really go into it.
They still haven't.
Yeah.
They touch upon it every here and there with Uraraka, but they haven't even they never even touched that if that's a thought in Deku's mind. So I'm not entirely so that's kind of a thing. Like they touch upon it with Uraraka every little bit of just like mentioning that it's there. Especially when they finally have her like showed and acknowledge that it's there and that it exists. Because up until one point she denies it. Even to herself, she denies it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point it like clicks in her brain, and she's like, oh shit, I actually do. Because she thinks at first it's just admiration for him.
Yeah.
Like of how like heroic he is, like how he has that natural like hero aura to him. And then it starts like, but it's Aoyama, like literally they're like being sucked into a black hole by 13. And Aoyama just looks at her nonchalantly, straight face. You like Midoriya, don't you?
And she lets go, and that's where she takes down 13.
They win the fight because of it. So Aoyama was smart.
and then Floppy just calls her right on it. It's like, so what did you guys say? What
well, no,
was it?
She's not no, that's not when she asks about it, but I don't think she knows because it was muted.
Yeah.
They just know he said something, she freaked out. So she was just like, what did he say that made you like freak out like that?
She freaked out. Which one of these exams was your favorite? Because for me, it's Todoroki. Taking a little bit of a humble pie there.
That's more so to me, that's more Momo. Like, yeah. Actually, no, yeah, because that's when we start like Todoroki fixes Momo's like self-esteem issues and stuff. Well, that was really because like Todoroki was kind of like leaning on Momo to make a plan, and Todoroki was also just trying to just bulwark through it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was learning very quickly he couldn't because Eraser is a counter to them. That was the whole point. It was putting them against someone, putting them together with someone that they don't meld with, or putting them against someone who counters them.
Yep.
Where like Deku being paired with Bakugo against All Might was actually both. Because Deku's admiration for All Might holds him back. Bakugo's like freaking
Salud.
bless me. Girl around Deku holds him back. So like they couldn't work as a team, and Deku like had this whole thing about like he wouldn't even try to fight like All Might or anything. He was just like escape.
Oh, and Recovery Girl had it straight on the nose. One has admiration for All Might, and the other one just wants to beat All Might.
Mm-hmm.
But boy,
Exactly.
did they learn quick that that they needed each other.
Mm-hmm. And even at the end, like it came into this more thing of where Deku could have gotten past the gate without going back for Bakugo.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he did was he got that one good punch in on him and then got Bakugo and him across the line.
Yep.
Line was like the huge thing there. Todoroki getting Momo out of her self-esteem issues of where she started becoming more of a decisive like leader figure. And you see from there and we'll talk about this in the future where Momo really starts assuming like in any situation she's in where she's in a group, she is now in that leader role where she's coming up with the plans, like directing everybody, and it works. You actually get to see Mineta not be a perverted anything but a pervert, something other than a perverted piece of shit. So, like, you get to see, and this is one of the things, like, this is one of the arcs that My Hero Academia shines in because you get to see all the other characters shine, not just Deku.
Mm-hmm.
Deku, you have like these parts where like during these fights, in some of the episodes, half of the episode didn't even show Deku, and it showed all the other class 1A's fights and stuff like that. So
they also had that when they were doing the internships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit. We got some filler episodes in some of the seasons that kind of show this. In season 3, I think we actually got an episode of Tsuyu during her in her work study with Selkie.
Yeah.
Which isn't in the manga. It was just like an extra episode they did because it was either get like a filler episode or there was going to be no episode at all. Due to something, I think like a vacation break or something like that.
Yeah.
That they'll either throw a filler episode in or during those kind of things or like allude to something like you'll see in like seasons that have a movie coming up in the middle, they'll do like this weird episode to like allude to the movie just to kind of like show it off and have like a break in between arcs so you kind of know like the definitive like breaking point stuff. And then we get the final last little episode where they're prepping for the next big thing, which is the summer camp, which is like basically this whole summer training camp they're going to, stuff like that. And Deku gets a run in with Shigaraki where he's like trying to kill him. Well, not really. He just wanted to like talk to him. Yeah, he puts his thing, and Uraraka catches this happening, and she's like, "Can you get away from him, please?" I'm not sure if she knew that was Shigaraki
Until Deku
because a
called him
lot of
that.
them didn't see him. A lot of them stayed up on the top thing and didn't really see Shigaraki.
Well, no,
Only
she
a
didn't
couple-
know it was Shigaraki until Deku called him Shigaraki to ask him a question.
Yeah, but she knew something was wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Wrong because and she was, and he was like, no, everything is okay, get like he was like, oh, that was all I wanted to know. Because like Deku and Shigaraki, they're the antithesis of each other. Because during this arc, we also learn of this big evil person that All Might fought, which is the one who instilled the injury on him, who has a reverse quirk called All for One, who has the power to like steal. I don't think they go like fully into what he can do, but I know they mention him being able to steal quirks. Quirks. They also mention how like One for All came from this and all that, which is a major plot point that we talk about more in the next season. But that kind of wraps up season 2.
Yeah,
So
this was fun.
yeah, before we have a real quick like 5-minute chat about the movie that happens, because there is a movie. I don't think it comes out. I think it either came out before this season ended or it came out during season 3, but chronologically lies in the timeline. This is where it happens, like between where they're packing for the summer camp and going to the summer camp. There's that little bit of them actually having a summer vacation, and this is where My Hero Academia 2 Heroes occurs.
Mm-hmm. And they're standalone movies. It's great that they can be put in where they are, but if you just wanted to watch this movie whenever, you could just watch it without context and whenever.
But they are said to be, they are canon. These events happen. Because you actually see in the manga, Melissa shows up and they do things. And
do we ever see her again?
Horikoshi wrote these movies. He wrote them.
Will, do we ever see Melissa again?
Do
we ever see
Melissa's David's daughter?
I know. Do we ever see her again?
In the manga, we do see her. Horikoshi also wrote this like one-off, these like side story mangas called like they're called team up missions. And it's like certain like little mini adventures that like happen in between like big events and stuff like that. And Melissa comes and visits them at UA. Even Rhodey and his siblings from the 3rd movie actually at one point come to UA and visit with everybody and stuff like that. So the movies do like, they do change it, just not in like the main series, but Melissa does show up in the main series. She's only like in a frame watching this whole thing going on, but it's their ways of acknowledging that these things did happen. But what was your, out of the 3 arcs, what was your favorite arc?
James, you can go first because I'm thinking.
All right. Personally, for me, it was Tournament. Because at that same time, we got that really bomb-ass opener. And, like, it was just refreshing and it was fun. And you saw how excited I was. There was a time we were coming in. I literally jumped over my couch to get ready to watch with you. And failed.
Dude, that was when I was like going over to your house every weekend, and we were literally like, it was our weekly tradition. We would always watch My Hero.
See, for me, my favorite arc probably was Hero Killer, just for the fact of, like I mentioned earlier, I understood exactly why he was doing it. For the most part, I was on his side. I just didn't like how he was doing it. Like, yeah, they should just be heroes. They shouldn't be out there for the fame or popularity or for the money. They're a hero to be a hero. Plain and fucking simple.
Mm-hmm. Mine, I'd have to say is probably, yeah, Hosu City, because one, Full Cowling. I would gush over Full Cowling for like, I gushed over Full Cowling forever. Ever. It was one of my favorite moments is like, I'm learning how to use my powers, yay.
Yeah.
It just made me happy inside. And then there were 2 openings in this season. From here on, each season has 2 openings. First one was Peace Sign, and the second one was Sora no Utaiba. If you ask my wife, she will say the best opening in all of My Hero Academia is Sora no Utaiba. I think she might like one more, but
Wait, I thought we had Odd Future.
no, Odd Future is next season. It's the first opening of next season.
Merry-Go-Round's
So-
my favorite.
Oh, you're right, Peace Sign, because I did enjoy Peace Sign, yeah.
So Peace Sign, yeah. I'll actually say Peace Sign's my favorite.
Yeah.
Sora no Utaiba is really good, and it was my alarm for so long. But Peace Sign, like it flowed more for me,
Mhm.
and it made more sense for the art. Like how I judge my openings is especially with one like this where it's a manga adaptation. I've been reading the manga. I look at the arc that the opening is for, and I'm like, does this opening fit this arc?
I get it now. I fully get it, yeah.
So that's why I think Peace Sign fit better for its arc than Sora no Taiba did for covering the rest of the series. Though
If you could, you would swap their places.
yeah, I do want to make one mention too. Right before, because they did that like showcase after the internships.
Yep.
And they did those races where everyone like shat their pants when they just saw Deku like flying across the arena and everything. And they're like, when did this happen? What?
What?
Well, it's because like everyone had their whole lives to improve, like learn their quirks, and
He has to.
they hadn't seen him for a week, and he had progressed that much. But then we have a movie. So My Hero Academia's first movie, 2 Heroes. We actually get to learn a bit about All Might's past.
And where his punches come from.
Well, we knew he was from, like, before he came back to Japan, it was mentioned that he was doing hero work in the USA. Before he became the pillar of peace in Japan and everything like that, he was working in America.
Yep.
And we got to see that, he had a friend in America that was helping him, and
David.
had cool gadgets and all that, David Shield and stuff, and that All Might gets invited to this whole big expo thing and brings Deku. He's like, oh yeah, I want you to meet my friends. And then
It was funny.
Deku meets Melissa, who's David Shield's daughter, and looks to All Might like an uncle.
So, Will, you want to hear something funny? When I saw this movie, I was expecting it to be just a Deku and All Might movie. And then the class showed up, and I was like, something...
Yeah, then the class shows up, which is good. It should. This is like we want to keep with that. Like the movie should give us My Hero Academia vibes, and Horikoshi is big on. He wants his other characters to have light too. No matter how sub character they are, they get their own chance in the limelight at every step of the way. Like he makes sure in every arc, every character gets to show off and actually matter.
Mhm.
matter, where it's not like Naruto and Bleach and One Piece does not do this. I'll be honest. One Piece does not do it. Dragon Ball does this, where no matter what, none of the other characters fucking end up mattering. It's only main character Kun. They're the only ones that matter. They're the only ones that make a difference, and that's kind of it.
Out of all those animes you just mentioned, I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, they're too long.
Well, Dragon Ball, the only Dragon Ball I've ever seen was abridged.
I mean, that's practically watching Dragon Ball.
And they ceased and assisted that bitch.
No, they chose to stop.
Oh. So
They didn't want it. They couldn't do Boo and make it funny.
that island was cool. I loved the premise of, hey, this place is so secure. Let's use the security to rob the bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That was okay.
The villain. The problem is I didn't like the villain in this because the villain was real boring. Like, I don't like, he had magnetic powers and there really wasn't a story to him except he was robbing the fucking place.
It kind of surprised me in a way, the twist at the end.
Yeah, and like the only real thing that kind of made it that part interesting was like that David was in on it because he wanted to steal the device to like help see about healing All Might.
I hope Sam's okay. He's a little holy now.
Poor Sam. So, like, the villain part was boring. I liked more of like the whole first half of the movie up until like the gala. I liked that more than the actual like crisis problem because like everyone in that was like forgettable.
The bad guys. I actually enjoyed the actual class coming together to, I guess, defeat the odds. Fucking Mineta again. Holy shit. Ladies, I did something great. Where's some love and affection? And Melissa just comes up. Mineta, you did great. And he's just, let's go!
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good first movie. And I mean, we got to see like Deku and All Might fight together.
And that's where Dave figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, Dave knows.
He didn't know until then, though.
No, David knew. He knows about All for One. He knows.
That Deku had it. That Deku had it.
No, I don't think he still knows.
When Deku was doing that punch and you're seeing it from Dave's point of view, it flashes to All Might doing the same pose and then back.
Yeah, because he just sees All Might in him.
Oh, okay.
We're not sure how much David actually knows about One for All. No, we know he knows about All Might's true state. See, but he keeps trying to heal All Might like he thinks he still has his quirk. But All Might also kind of like in the conversation with them in the lab implies that he knows that the quirk can transfer. So it's a little hard to know how much David actually knows. I think in one of those like team up missions too, you actually see like All Might and David having a conversation of like David apologizing and like kind of explaining to him why he did it, and All Might forgiving him for doing so because he's like that's why he did it.
Dave's going to jail, right?
He goes to jail. Yeah. No, All Might talks to David in jail. Like it's like.
I very much enjoyed this.
David does go to jail. It is in one of these like side story things, it is acknowledged that David did go to jail. I
very much enjoyed this movie and just
rewatched. He was considered an accomplice. He was an accomplice to it.
Yeah. I'd go back and watch this even if we're not reviewing it. If it's on, I'm going to maybe play Magic next to it, but
yeah, like it's a thing. Like if I rewatch My Hero, when I rewatch My Hero Academia, when I get to this point, I watch the movie because I feel like this is like it's a thing that happens.
It was a fun hour and a half. It really was.
But hey, guys, we did it. We got there. We covered season 2 and the movie.
Only took an hour and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
everybody.
not bad.
We're gonna be
Yours.
doing season 3 in 2 weeks. Is there another movie?
No, not
just
yet.
season 3.
We cover movie 2 at the end of season 4.
Okay, cool. So it seems like every 2 seasons we get a movie.
No, because season at the end of season 5 we cover the third movie.
Well,
World
there goes
Heroes
that train
mission
of thought.
happens. Yeah, because World Heroes mission occurs during the Endeavor internships.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. Well, what was your thought of season 2 of My Hero Academia and the movie 2 Heroes? We want to hear from you. Hit that like button, subscribe, go check out some NDNT merch down in the description. Will, great job hosting, pal. You do such good job.
I know. I'll pat myself on the back.
I love not having to talk. But hey, thank you guys for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you probably Monday for Wrestling with Nerds. They're talking about WrestleMania 3. We are on the road to WrestleMania. And then next week for regular nerds, we're doing Catching Fire, the Hunger Games second movie. Be there, be square. Peace out, everybody.